Hi Sharon, come into my Peranakan wedding suite. So this is a recreation of about a wedding suite about 1910, 1900, and I've accumulated all the things my whole life, and I thought it'd be great to put them together in a room to see how they would all look. And you know, this was inspired by the room that you're staying in Muntri Street, the front room, because my great-grandfather had 9 daughters, and there was always someone getting married. So I remember from the stories about how one daughter would get married, stay in the room, and use it until the next daughter get married. Then they get kicked out. So this is not my family heirlooms, but I've acquired them over time. So the Peranakan wedding furniture is very distinctive in that it's very over the top. There's a lot of gilding, there's a lot of carving, and it is based on the traditions of southern China from the Fujian province. So over here we have the bride's dressing table. It's always with the mirror, balancing mirror. And downstairs you saw earlier the carvings that I was going to assemble. That's what it was going to become, something like that. And this is the Penang style, which is quite different from the Malacca or the Singapore style. And you'll be wondering why we've got some chickens here under the bed. The Chinese love to predict everything. So they put the pair of chickens under the bed and see which sex came out first under the bed, and that would be the sex of the first child, apparently. So that's it's been restored, and the textiles that go with it. These are the Chinese, what I call the Chinese neckties. Anything formal in Chinese tradition, you'll see these neckties being put on the outfits or on the beds or whatever. And the embroidery on it is just incredible. This is in such good condition. You can hardly find it in one. They're done with the Peking knot or the forbidden stitch. So a lot of the textiles are restored as well. So we restored the backing material. So, and all the hangings here, the decorations are all the fertility and the mating symbols, you know. They either have a lot of seeds or have a lot of symbolic things like butterflies, you know, or bees or fruit. To reflect the period, which is Anglo-Chinese, when the British were in power in Penang. So the sort of curtain and the curtains and the swag curtains that would have been around that time, I've recreated the look here. So this is the groom's dressing area or the cabinet, and this is the tray or the hantaran tray that my grandmother was telling me about, and how they would parade the streets with the jewelry. So on some days when I have friends here or my hotel guests, I would display the jewelry here, because I got the whole set of Peranakan jewelry. And this is some examples of Chinese wedding dresses, but not for the nonyas. They were much more for the traditional Chinese. Just that I came across this amazing outfit, and I just thought I had to buy it. This is all embroidery. See how embroidered it is? The whole thing is embroidery, with the dragon's eyes and everything. Isn't it extraordinary? See, the eyes are there, the dragon's eyes. So I bought this from America. And it's made by a very, very famous wedding garment maker in China, in Shanghai. Crazy cabinet, but it's basically, I think, it's very Malaysian, because it's got elements of the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Malay, and the Chinese styles in there. Everything thrown in. And this was a piece of embroidered slippers that were made as presents for by my grandmother, for my grandfather. They're men's slippers. I know you don't believe it. I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. The men's slippers. Hey, why can't you open this? Oh, yeah. Now, they are a man's size, not a women's size slippers. And they just fit me perfectly. Look. still too big, so they can't be made from it. But actually, the history of this is like Arabic or Indian, right? You see a lot of these slippers. And also on the British side, you see the smoking slippers are similar to these in velvet. They are some of them are the beads and some of them are the gold thread. And here's just a few samples which sort of like, the paraphernalia that you find in the typical wedding suite of the night. Obviously, this little vessel here called the kam cheng. Kam cheng actually has got a double meaning. It means love, kam cheng, or it means this vessel. So this would have bird's nest typically for the night. I haven't got anything in there. Bird's nest soup that they would feed each other for a long life, or the red date and longan soup. And these are just the cups around here, and this is the tea, the Peranakan tea set. And the sirih set. See how British the sirih set is? I mean, you wouldn't find, this is from Garage or something like that, from Europe, from London, but they had it designed as a sirih set. Isn't it amazing that I'm sure the Sultans would have the same thing. So I'm going to talk a bit about the ceremony that goes on here at night before on the wedding eve. Related a few of these things that are typically part of the whole ceremony. It's about imparting important information to the bride on the eve of her wedding because she's leaving the family. So all these are the things that I researched that you find in the ceremony. And it's firstly the most important thing is the Book of Knowledge, the Chinese Book of Knowledge. And inside here, I had it interpreted, were important. It's like, I suppose, the Wikipedia of today. All the bits of important information, just remember 19th century, not a lot of information available to everyone, not everyone's educated. The stories about how to be a filial daughter-in-law or wife, how to manage your household, really such practical information, stages of pregnancy in case you didn't know. And the most important of them all, how to interpret your dreams into 4-digit numbers. Then, some of the things that the weighing scales. These are gifts to the bride, and why are they so important? Well, everyone was worried about being cheated. And you think about the women at that time, 19th century, they were homemakers. And so they were given this so that they were not cheated when they went out to buy their gold. Buying gold and jewelry was like going to buy unit trust today, you know what I mean? So I think that they had to make sure that what they bought was the right weight or the right carat weight. And so you had to bring your own scales to make sure that you're not cheated. Now, hang on, this is all tangled up. The little needle here, the needle is what, when you weigh it, and then, okay, this is actually how it works. There you are. To make sure that the weight is correct. So the weight goes back further here. Wait, okay. So I'm going to put something there, and then the weight will balance out. So you bring your own scales. I think it's a very good tip even today, right? Bring your own scales to the goldsmith. Wait, so it's back. So it's all about protecting yourself from being cheated in the big wide world when you're out there. Okay, the other thing is a ruler. You're given a ruler, a basic ruler. Why? Not to hit your husband, but to, you know, a homemaker would go out and make their own clothes by cloth, fabric. So you go to the textile merchant with your own ruler to make sure that they don't cheat you. I suppose on a bigger scale, it's like going to measure your piece of land. When you're buying land, you know, bring your own measuring tape. So again, good advice on how not to be cheated. The most poetic items in here, I think, is the last three things here. The mirror, the vanity mirror, suppose it's very good advice for women of that time to not forget to look at yourself before you go out. Don't go out without your makeup or hair done. And the comb. Now, I suppose I always thought, oh, it's the last act of grooming by the mother for the daughter, but it's also very practical to get rid of kutu on your hair. And I researched this and I thought that could not possibly be an item like a scissors, you know, for the ceremony. It's so destructive, the whole sharpness of it is so damaging. But it's also to remind us that a scissors is a sum of two parts, and you need the two parts to work together to be effective. Now, I thought that was just wonderful advice, you know, to show the whole, lend a poetic justice to the whole ceremony. Isn't that amazing? Oh yes, one more, I forgot about this. And it's all going to be in this vessel. Why this vessel? I thought it was just for, you know, useful to store all that stuff in, but no, it's actually the measurement for a gantang of rice. So when you go to the grocery shop, bring your own measuring vessel for the gantang of rice. See, this is the formal going away outfit for the bride and groom on the 12th day when the bride is taken home. So the festivities go on from the first day to the 12th day in the bride's house. And this is Peranakans, and look on the way on the wedding on the 12th day. So look at this, a baju panjang, but with the Chinese damas. This is original outfit from 1910. And look at the songket. How Malay did they look at the time? Oh my God. And the jewelry. The jewelry obviously is Peranakan, but it also has origins from Indian and Arabic culture. You know, the paisley design, the whole thing there. And look at the sapu, tangan. Symbolic, but it's there as a formal selendang or something like that. So, and this is the dowry box that I restored. I found it in the street one day. It was from a Chinese opera, but I decided it was worth restoring. It took me 6 months to restore it. And it was to carry all the things in the dowry box back to the groom's place. You had the panda for both sides. You need 2 attendants to carry that. So it's an insight into some of the paraphernalia for a wedding ceremony. What a lot of fuss, I say. Okay, Nichelle, Zarago, I hope that you found this all interesting and educational, and hope that this is part of our shared Malaysian culture as well. I hope you have a nice time in Georgetown. Bye.